Hi and welcome to Makeup440plus. If you haven't seen my channel before, my name is Trish. I have suffered from psoriasis since I was probably about 10 years old, so for a very long time. So I get a lot of videos, a lot of requests for foundation routines for summer and all that sort of thing, and it's winter here at the moment, so it makes it really difficult. But I have to say, basically, other than moisturising and that sort of thing, I don't tend to change my routine that much. Even when in summer, when I apply my makeup, I try and put a fan on so that, you know, it reduces the sweat, and then throughout the day, if I'm sweating, I just use a tissue to block my makeup. So my foundation routine doesn't change really that much. Now winter's here where I live, particularly, like, I suppose summer's about 30 degrees Celsius, 28 to 30 on average, and winter can be, it's been 4 degrees Celsius, but most days it gets up to about 13 to 18 degrees, so it's not freezing. You know, it's cold for us, but it's not freezing. But anyway, I'm rambling. Today I want to show you how I cover my psoriasis and pores and everything else. I know there's a lot of creams and a lot of people, you know, that you can put concealer on and all this sort of thing, but I really feel that what I do day to day covers an immense amount of imperfections in my skin. And you still want your skin to look like skin, and nobody's perfect, and particularly as you get older, you know, you've got scars, you've got wrinkles, you've got all sorts of things. I mean, I use my hair to hide some of it, but basically I want to show you how, very simply, without doing a whole lot of, you know, other things, that I can get a really nice finish on my skin. So I'll just grab one thing and then we'll get started, because of course, knowing me, I forgot one thing. I always forget something. Thought I was so clever today and had everything organised, but apparently not. So I'm going to zoom in and do something really scary for me as much as for you guys, and show you basically, and excuse me because I'm looking in the viewfinder so that I can make sure that you can see what I'm talking about. So I have very red around my forehead, through here, and my eyebrow. I've got a lovely patch of psoriasis that's coming up here at the moment that's quite red. Then I've got quite a lot of open pores around my nose, some broken capillaries from where I wear my glasses, obviously dark circles, which is just part of age, some more psoriasis on my nose, and then around my mouth, Mount Vesuvius over here that just won't go away, some scarring from acne, and then on my chin, again, open pores and, you know, marks, skin discoloration, sunspots, whatever you want to call them. So I'll just zoom back out again, because I can never figure out which way to zoom. Okay, so basically I just use really basic products. I've tried correction powders, correction creams, all sorts of different things, and I don't think that you need, I don't know, I'm beginning to think I'll take my channel in a different direction. You don't need expensive stuff. Nobody sees a label on your face that says you're wearing MAC or Urban Decay or anything else. They just see your makeup. So I wear a makeup primer and a base under my, after I've already put foundation on, might I add. I use, at the moment, I am really loving, now this is probably a little bit more on the expensive side, the Laura Geller under makeup primer. This is in sparkling tinted, and my cats are playing with the blinds, so please excuse that noise. To put this on, I just use a skunk brush. This one's from BH Cosmetics. I've got lots of different skunk brushes, and I put probably about a pearl size bead on and just dab that all over my face. Now this really doesn't do a lot as far as reducing the look of anything. You know, it's not noticeable instantly that, you know, I'm not taking any of the discoloration away, I'm not doing anything. I'm just basically putting this primer down, and that's it. So another one that I use, which is absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend it to anybody, are the Skin 79s, but I buy them on eBay, but they can be a little expensive, I know. So I'm still looking for a cheaper alternative, if you like. Now, day to day, I just use my Revlon Colour Stay. Now, this is in the combination to oily skin, because even though I'm over 40, I still have oily skin and I still have charming breakouts. And my colour is 330 Natural Tan, so this is just what I use. So I always give the bottle a really good shake. Now, this brush has seriously been my lifesaver. This is a buffing brush from Real Techniques, and I absolutely love this. This was in my giveaway last month. Not sure, it's Sunday, so. And I don't like contaminating. I try not to use my hands a lot when I'm doing makeup. I know that a lot of people do, but I just am not keen on putting my stuff on my hands and then putting it on my face. So I put a small amount on this brush, and I basically just dot it over my face like most people would dot foundation with their finger. And then I literally stipple, and then I start just in circular motions, just blending across my face. Now, I find by working with this in a stippling motion and then blending it, it doesn't dry quite as quickly as a lot of people talk about. So it's not something that, you know, you've got to work in seconds to get. Actually, somewhere else I get open pores is between my eyebrows and just above my eyebrows, and I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera, but I'm making sure that I'm buffing this in really nicely. And I'll just zoom in, and I will look in the viewfinder, so again, forgive me. But I'll just zoom in and I'll show you, like, the pores in my middle of my forehead and along my eyebrows. Once I buff, they basically start to disappear. And you'll see the redness on my forehead by buffing has basically disappeared as well, including this spot on the side of my face. So it's nowhere near as red as it was. So under my eyes is still dark. We'll get back to those. Now, around here, around my nose and my cheeks, if I just buff in circular motions, I find that it really reduces the look of the pores on my nose and around my nose. One of my pet peeves is people not putting makeup in this part of foundation, in this part of their face. So always make sure that you get that part of you beside your nose, because a lot of people forget. And you'll see them with makeup on, but you can see like this. It's like they had their fingers there when they were applying it. Anyway, keep moving. So basically you can see that the reduction has been quite good. Now, same around my mouth. So I just continue to buff. I'll zoom back out again so you can get the general idea. So I sort of, as you see, I didn't use a huge amount of foundation at all. But I probably spend more time buffing to get my base right. And then I bring it down my neck, of course, what's left on the brush, so that there's no harsh lines. So that's made such a huge difference. I'll just zoom back in again and I'll show you up close. Sorry, you get to see my lovely bags and everything. Sorry, trying to get it to focus. So you should be able to see, like, the redness has really gone from those areas that were really red. The open pores are nowhere near as noticeable. The marks on my nose aren't as noticeable. Even the discoloration, like there's this one spot on my side of my face that's still there, but even around my chin, Mount Vesuvius is still there. But that's part of life, unfortunately, is go the other way, is having, you know, imperfect skin for most of us, or some of us. So the next thing that I do that really helps is, there's a multitude of these on the market that I use a great many of them. A couple of my favourites is the e.l.f. Under Eye Concealer and Highlighter. The other one is the Maybelline Age Rewind. I've got a couple of backups of this one. Another one that I've really been enjoying is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, which is the one I'm going to use today to show you. I like this one because it's sort of a peachy colour, so it brightens, but it sort of also corrects any darkness that's under your eyes. So I would also normally do this after I've done my eyeshadow, but for today we're not. So I've just put it directly under my eyes, and then just using a big fluffy brush with nothing on it. This is another BH Cosmetics brush. I just gently work that out a bit, and then under my eyes and up into that corner again, because that's where a lot of darkness actually happens, along the side of my nose. And then I also use this brush as well to buff even more into those pores around my cheeks, just to brighten that area up and help conceal. So this is basically what I do every morning. I mean, I do it faster because I'm not talking and zooming into a camera, etc, etc. So next thing I use is something else that's not expensive. It's the e.l.f. High Definition, what do they call it, under eye setting powder. This stuff I think is gold. Now I always just store it upside down, so the cap is actually chockers at the moment, but I just get a bit on my brush. I actually use the sifter. I take a bit out of the cap and then basically blot it off onto the sifter in the jar, if that makes sense. And I just use this to gently set, and I always apply this before I apply my other powder, and I just gently use this to set my under eye concealer, and just do it basically in a triangular motion, and ensuring that I get into that corner to lighten up my eye. And then of course the other side, and a bit too much powder. Now if that happens, it's fine, just dust off the brush, because this concealer, this powder, sorry, just brushes away so easily, it's not funny. So it may have been a little more. This is one of the powders I use when I have done my foundation and I'm then going to do my eyes, when you see me with my nice white powder under my eyes. What I like about this powder is, you might notice, I'll zoom in so you can see, it's got a bit of a highlight and a bit of shimmer, not a lot of shimmer, but just a little shimmer that helps brighten the under eye area. So it just sort of lifts that. You can see, you know, that there's, it's sort of lifted. I can't hide my bags, they're there. I need sleep, there's nothing I can do about that except have sleep. Then the next thing I do to finish my face is one of the things that I'm using at the most, which I'm really loving, and this is from Coastal Scents, and you've seen me use this before. This is the Press Powder Foundation. This is number 8, and it's actually an iridescent one. And as you can see, I've hit pan because I use it so much. It's just a really nice powder that I basically just blot all over my face, and because it's a foundation as well as a powder, a foundation in powder form, I just find it gives me just that little bit extra coverage, and a bit of colour. It's the same colour, as you can see, it's colour 8, so it's the same colour as I am, so it doesn't, you know, disturb or change the colour of my foundation. It doesn't oxidize through the day, it doesn't do anything nasty. But I also, once I've got it on, because it's a powder foundation, I tend to blend it and buff it in a bit just to make sure that it's not sitting on my skin or, you know, doing anything. There's no big chunks of it anywhere. So also helping to set my foundation. And that, my lovelies, fixing my hair as I always do. Now I'll zoom in and I will show you the difference. So as you can see, basically redness is gone. This, which was really red in the beginning, is basically gone. The pores around the sides of my face, definitely, you know, they're still there, that's life. You know, the markings on my skin, of course you can still see, well, that's a freckle, but you can still see my bumps, but that's life. And even this dark patch on my skin is sort of settled a bit, but basically the general, you know, appearance of my skin, the redness has been taken out, the pores have been minimised. I've used, you know, a handful of products. I've used a primer, I've used a foundation, I've used an under eye concealer, a powder, an under eye powder, and a face powder, or a foundation / powder, and that's basically given me this look. So this is my everyday foundation routine that I use for work, and I think it's great. To me it's pretty flawless. You know, I mean, bags are bags. You know, okay, we know there's things you can do to get rid of them, and I do know I need sleep. You know, I haven't done my brows, I haven't done anything else, so I'll do that in the next video, so keep your eye out for that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. This has gone on long enough. I've rambled long enough. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, because it really makes my day. I hope you're having a great day, whatever it is you're doing, and please give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment. And I will talk to you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.